Hello, hello, hello. How are you today? This is Dr. Melissa Simmons, and I am here, Girl Bossed Up the podcast. I hope you're having a good day. I'm having a good day. It is, we are doing our Sunday football day, and I'm in two fantasy football leagues. So I think I'm gonna win one. I'm gonna win the Girl Bossed Up one. I don't think I'm gonna win the one I'm in, um, where I live. I don't think I'm gonna win that one. But anyway, it's a good Sunday football day. I was running around doing stuff, but you know what? You know what? Before I even go there, let's talk about Girl Bossed Up. Now, every time we meet, the purpose of the goal and purpose is to mentor, motivate, and move you closer to fulfilling your dreams, goals, and desires using the talents that God has blessed you with. That is the purpose of this podcast. Girl Bossed Up the podcast. I hope all my girl bossed ups are doing good out there. I am. I was able to talk to a few girl bossed up last, few girl ladies last Thursdays, a few of my girl bossed ups, and sounds like they're doing things, moving and shaking, being inspired to do things differently in their lives, and that's what I love. Is taking the chance, taking the risk, in spite of what you may fear. So we'll get back to fears later. But in spite of what you may fear, in spite of what you may not be totally confident in, still move forward, fall forward. You know what I'm saying? Don't not move. Don't not do something. It's in the doing that the power comes. It's in the doing that the miracles happen. It's in the doing that God blesses and opens doors. It's in the moving, it's in the doing, it's in the taking the risk that things happen for yourself. So I'm encouraging you to go forth and do something. All right. So we're going to talk about what is trending. We like to talk about the things that are trending, and there's a couple of things trending today. Today is the Emmy Awards. They're coming on, and I'm looking forward to seeing the winners tonight. They're always, I love looking at the different shows. I have to admit, most of these shows I've not seen. Most of them are on Hulu and Paramount and Peacock and Netflix and all of those different stations. Although I do subscribe to most of those, I don't tend to, binge on those shows. So, but it should be interesting just to watch. I love the fashion, so I'm definitely going to be tuning in to see what's on the red carpet. All right, all right. Also trending last week was the last week was the debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, and by all accounts, Vice President Kamala Harris won the debate. Um, I mean, what is the prize for winning? I think overall, the prize for winning is more attention is given. More people are interested that did not know Vice President Kamala Harris prior to the debate. They did a focus group. I was watching MSNBC, and they did a focus group. In that focus group, most people were more interested to learn about Vice President Kamala Harris than before. She did change some of the minds of the people that were going to vote for Donald Trump. They have decided to now vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. Not many days left. I do encourage everybody to go out there and vote, um, and really find out what the real facts. And speaking of real facts, what is also trending from the debate was a comment that Donald Trump made. He made this comment that in Springfield, the immigrants are eating the cats and dogs, the pets of the people that live there. Now, when he said it, I think everybody was like, at least people I was watching with, and people that may not have been aware of or heard this statement already. Not many people had heard it or even knew about it, but it came off as kind of odd and weird. And what the heck is he talking about? Well, I, like you said, did some research and found out that what they were referring to was the number of Haitian immigrants in Springfield. Um, and the reason why um, is these Haitian immigrants are in Springfield, Ohio, is that they was actually sent there in order to. There were a few plants that needed people to staff them. So the actual population of Springfield, Ohio, did not have the people to actually staff. Um, I'm not sure what the plant was or what the what the warehouse was, but they didn't have the people. And the Haitian immigrants have become a huge staple to the workforce in Springfield, Ohio, and are making a difference, bringing in income, and from all accounts, doing a absolutely phenomenal job in Springfield, Ohio, in regards to bringing back the economy. There had been a mass exodus in that area. A lot of things were, as I'll just say, depressed, and the influx of those immigrants has made a turnaround in the economy in that area. So the intent of that comment was to bring negative and false attention. It has been proven over and over again this is not the case. The mayor of that town has come out numerous times to say that is um, fake. Those comments were not true. It is not happening. They are quite happy with the immigrant population in that area. And right now, what they're trying to work is to stop the hatred and the attacks and the really the death threats and just the explosion of harassment and negativity in that area towards these immigrants. And it's horrible. Um, People are the mayor is pleading that people stop. That what was said by the former president and his running mate JD Vance is absolutely untrue, and it is really bringing a level of hatred and really putting fear into these immigrants. And it's so important to understand. And so the racism that has been brought forth, this is a racist attack and attempt that is being made on these people um, because they have not done what has been accused of them doing. In addition to that, I think it's so important that we not follow that kind of racism and hate because it is targeted to a specific group. And I would encourage anyone to, number one, racism is not something anyone should be touting or believing or trying to live by. This country is built on freedoms and freedoms of anybody who comes to this country, including immigrants. And we all at one time through our ancestors were immigrants to this country. Respect that and allow these people to follow their own um, paths and dreams for their American dream and be able to live and earn their money and to create their family and establish themselves where they are. The hatred needs to stop. The racism upon them needs to stop. So do your homework. Find out what people are saying and why they're saying it. In addition to that, a lot was said about what wasn't done by this current administration in regards to immigration, and what was done by the prior president in regards to immigration. And I challenge you to look up immigration and what was done by both, um, by the current administration and the prior administration. There are glaring um, inaccuracies based on what the facts are saying. So I'll just encourage you to go and see what is happening in terms of the actions that has been taken by both administrations. Okay, so that is what is trending right now. The quote for the day is a quote I have, and the quote that I have for you is: "Don't underestimate how good you really are." Way too often we underestimate ourselves and we put ourselves down, and we don't give ourselves enough credit for what we are actually capable of doing. And especially as girl bosses, we tend to not give ourselves credit where credit is due, and we downplay our abilities. We need to get a better understanding of how good we really are and stop underestimating ourselves. So, the quote of the day is: "Don't underestimate how good you really are." All right, let's take a quick break and we will be back for our Girl Bossed Up the Journal day that we are focusing on. Okay, we are back. And I want to let you, okay, so let's go to the day in the Girl Bossed Up 30-Day Journal. Once again, you can find the Girl Bossed Up 30-Day Journal um, by Dr. Melissa Simmons on Amazon. Just put in Girl Bossed Up 30-Day Journal and it should pop up. Okay, for my Amazonian, my Amazonians, you can get it up on Amazon. Okay, so the day I want to focus on is day 22. Day 22 in the Girl Bossed Up Journal. It is my fear, my new reality. One more time: my fear, my new reality. And right under that, I have an acronym for fear: false evidence appearing real. FEAR. False evidence appearing real. Okay, let me read it to you. I will be turning 58 this year. Actually, it'd be, yes, I turned 58 this year. No, I turned 59 this year. Silly girl. I turned 59 this year, but as you can see, it was 2 years ago. So, actually, 1 year ago that the journal was written. So, let me start it all over again. I will be turning 58 this year. When I turned 55, I finally decided that my birthday was going to be the day I did something I always wanted to do. So now my birthday has become my bucket list day so far. So far, I have ridden a bike in Central Park, gone to Arizona, seen the Grand Canyon, walked 2 miles through Antelope Canyon, and finally walked through the trees and zip lined down a hill. I was scared of doing each one. In the middle of each event, I was terrified and didn't think I would be able to make it through. But I persevered and did them all. I don't know what is next, but I assure you there will be a next. Question: what frightens you the most about doing it? What are you terrified of, but know you have to do it anyway? How can you prepare yourself enough to finally do it? Ooh, fear, false evidence appearing real. I think a lot of times our fears come from not us doing anything or doing a thing, is watching others doing it or seeing somebody else's reactions to things or watching TV or, or on social media, and we find ourselves scared of doing something that we've never done, not knowing what truly, um, what about the thing may actually fear us or cause us fear or make us afraid or like allow us to say or allow ourselves to say, I'm scared. Like I mentioned, those things that I've talked about, that I actually did, obviously I watch other people do it. The bike riding is more, I've always ridden bikes. I think the bike ride in Central Park had a lot to do with, now that I think I know, um, after gaining a lot of weight after I had my three children, I knew that my weight would hold me back from doing many things. Um, Being scared of running out of breath, or you know, or not being able to finish something, find myself in the middle of somewhere, not being able to get back because I was overweight, was one of my big fears about doing so many different things. And that included the walking, um, the hiking, all of those things used to hold me back because of my weight. And when I, and oh God, when I started my journey of self discovery, I want to say in 20, hmm, let's say 2011. Yeah, let's say 2011, when I really started it, 2010, 2011. And one of the first things I put down as my goal, and in my first podcast, I did mention my life plan. And in my life plan, one of my goals was to lose weight. And I indicated what weight I wanted to be and what size I wanted to be. And a few years later, I actually went and had weight loss surgery. And I am currently down 120, 120 pounds. Let's just use 100, 120 pounds. And I have my goal weight. I have, I want to say 10, let's say 15 more pounds to go to the goal weight. And that, I've been on this journey since that time. I've been losing weight easily over the last 5 years. Easily been losing weight. And I'm proud of myself. I am so proud of myself. So when I rode the bike, although I was winded, I was able to ride the bike through Central Park. When I walked 2 miles through Antelope Canyon, I was a little winded, but my husband and my son and my daughter and my friends, they just cheered me on, and I got to the top. And it was a 2 mile walk up. So it wasn't easy. And I wasn't the only one struggling. But I did it. And sometimes the barriers or the obstacles that creates the fear, we need to address it, and we need to find out what it is and overcome it. Because too often in life, we don't live life because of these fears that we have holding us back for so many different things. Oh, I'm scared to go up in the elevator. I'm scared to go in a tall building. I'm scared to fly. I know so many people scared to fly. And because they're scared to fly, they won't go on a vacation that they can't drive to. Um, there's so many, I'm so grateful. I have no intention of driving to Mexico. So I get on a plane. And although I used to be a lot more scared about flying. I'm not as scared anymore. I used to grab my husband's hand very tight when takeoff would happen. I don't get that way anymore. I've become used to it. I say my prayers. I thank God for the ministering angels, for taking care of us and guiding us, and that no hurt, harm, or danger will come towards us. And I keep it moving. I keep it moving. So although I may have fears come up, I do not allow the fear to stop me from doing what I know I want to do and desire to do. Um, so many of us has to look at things like that. It's not to say that in life we're not going to be fearful of things. What we are saying is don't let the fear stop you from living. Don't let the fear hold you back from doing something you want to do. This summer, like I said, I turned last summer when I wrote the journal, I was turning 58. This summer I turned 59. And what did I do? When we went to Mexico, actually, I did a couple of things that I was scared when I started doing it, but I went ahead and did it. The first thing I did was I was able, I asked my daughter, I was able to get a press pass and I was able to interview many of the USA women's basketball team members. And that was such an exciting and exhilarating experience. Was I scared? Absolutely. When I got into the room, was I intimidated? Absolutely, because all of the real reporters and camera people and influencers were in in those rooms. They were familiar with the players. They knew what questions to ask the players. They had their mics and their equipment. I had my phone. That's all I had was a phone. A lot of them had big cameras, and on there, even if they had a phone, they had the mic attached to the phone and all these things. But some of them did just have a phone, so I didn't feel too out of place. But I was nervous. I didn't know what to do when I got into the room. So I watched and I walked around and I watched what other people were doing. And when the group ran to one player, I ran with them, and then I got a feel for it. And when most of the reporters moved to another player, I went back to that player and I asked a few questions. And I was able to interview about four different USA Olympians. Um, and that was exciting. I interviewed one of my favorite players, Brittany Griner. I believe I asked her a very intelligent question, and she answered it just the way I thought she would. And it so happened that that question I asked and her response a few weeks, I think it was a couple of weeks later, um, they were some of the detainees were released from Russia. So kudos to Brittany Griner and sharing your book and coming home and being able to inspire others to support those causes. And now we have most of our people home that were detained in Russia. So again, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was fearful to do it. I was scared to ask her the question. I jumped in um, to get my question in because there was at least 25 people around her asking questions. And I just wiggled my way to the front and jumped in and asked the question. And yes, I was scared. Yes, I didn't know what I was going to do. Yes, I didn't even know if she would answer my question, but she did. And I'm so grateful for pushing through the fear. What else did I do this summer? My husband, myself, and my two sons, Nicholas and CJ, we went to Mexico. We went to Playa del Carmen, and we ended up going to a cenote. A cenote is a area, I guess it's a water area in the forest jungle area um, of Mexico. And I say jungle areas because you're surrounded by trees. You can't see it from the highway or any street. It's tucked into the woods of their their greenery. And you drive like a mile or two into the cenote, and when you get there, there's all of a sudden there's water, and you could go in there and snorkel and zip line and jump off the cliff. And guess what I did? I zip lined and jumped into the water, and we went snorkeling. We also went snorkeling in a cave. And the cave was a real cave with bats in the cave and everything. And I love that. Actually, snorkeling is something I enjoy thoroughly. So I wasn't fearful of snorkeling. I was fearful of zip lining into the water. That was scary. And I didn't know if, once again, my fears rose up real quick. I didn't know if I was strong enough to hold on to the it's like a, I don't know what to call, a handle. And you hold on to the handle and they push you, and then you push yourself off, and you get midway, you jump into the water. You drop into the water. I didn't know if I could hold if my arms were strong enough to hold my weight to go to the middle, but they were. And I did it. And I did it again. I think I did it 3 times. And I was proud of myself doing it 3 times. I did not jump off the cliff. That was a bit much. I didn't need to. Guess what? I made a decision. Look, I did the zip line, and that was enough. I did not have to jump off the cliff. Sometimes you can make your own decisions like that. And I did. And I didn't have to. And I don't think I am. I did, as a matter of fact, if I backpedaled a little bit, my Lamont and I, we went to the Keys this summer, and we went. That was, I want to say we went in May or June. I think we went in June. I forget the dates now, but we went. We went in May. We went in May. No, no, we went in May, and we went to so many places in the Keys. It was beautiful. But we went once again snorkeling. We took a boat trip, and the boat trip takes you to the middle of the water in the Keys, and you jump off. And when you jump off, it's an area with coral reef, and everything. And we went snorkeling. Um, I didn't jump off the cliff, but I jumped off the boat because they said if you want to get to the top and jump off the boat, you can. And I said, Lamont, I'm going to do it. He says, you are? I said, yes, I am. And I got to the top, and the boat was moving and swaying. And yes, I was scared. And when I got to the edge, I said, oh my God, it's really tall. Felt like about 3 stories. I would say at least 3 stories, the top of the boat to the water. But guess what? I I looked and I said, I'm doing it. And I jumped off the boat. Again, was I scared? Yes. But did I do it? Yes. False evidence appearing real. Fear is real in a sense where you feel it. The fear comes up and you feel it. But fear, the right kind of fear, shouldn't stop you from doing what you want to do. And I'm not talking about danger. Okay. Let's get that straight. Don't do anything that's dangerous, that could hurt you. When you see it, you go, okay, I could hurt myself. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about pushing yourself and doing the things you want to do. You want to accomplish. You want to achieve. That may be applying for a job. That may be going for a job. That may be again doing things that you always wanted to do. Getting on a roller coaster. I got on. I went to Great Adventures with for my son's birthday in June. Also, June was a big month. June and July was a big month for me, and I went to Great Adventures with my son, and the younger my son and his friends, they were getting on. Is it King the Car? King the Car? think it's King the car. And I said, okay, I'm gonna get on with you. And my son said, you're gonna get on King the car with us? I said, yes. Are you sure, Mom? Yes. You sure? You sure? Yes. I got on King the car with him. And I closed my eyes the whole time. Grabbed his arm. But I did it. I did it. Um, don't let it stop. Fear is not supposed to. Again, I'm not talking about danger. I'm talking about fear. It's not supposed to stop you from doing something that you know you need to do, or you want to do, or you want to accomplish. Um, Again, I'm not talking about danger. Don't do dangerous things. Don't put yourself out there to hurt yourself. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about things that you have feared for one reason or another, and it has stopped you, it has halted you, it has created an obstacle in your life, and now you don't do it, or you don't go there, or you don't, it stopped you from living some way, somehow. Challenge yourself. You remember the quote I even said today: don't underestimate what you are capable of doing. Don't underestimate it. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it because you can. Figure out why it's an obstacle. Figure out why you have fear. And if it's not dangerous, um, and you find that you can actually do this thing, do it. You never know what door it opens to doing the next thing. You never know what door it opens to moving yourself, changing the trajectory for your own life. It could be that job. It could be putting in that application for a mortgage, for a house, um, buying that car you wanted. Make sure your credit's right. Make sure your money's right. But don't be scared, fearful. Don't convince yourself you can't, because you probably can. Dr. Melissa Simmons, Girl Bossed Up, the podcast.